Hello everyone, Timmy Trico coming at you yet again with another top 10 list. Today I'm giving you my top 10 horror movies of the 1970s. Yes, the 1970s brought us some real great horror movies. And it was tough to narrow this list down to just 10, but I think I did a pretty good job in doing so. Um, Before I get with the top 10, I have a couple honorable mentions. Um, that would be Blackula, The Wicker Man, um, The Rocky Horror Picture Show, Alien, Amityville Horror, When a Stranger Calls, and Dracula um, from the 1970s. All great horror movies, just couldn't make my top 10. But what did make my top 10 is number 10, and that is The Last House on the Left. Wes Craven, just a genius when it comes to horror movies. It's too bad that he's gone because I think he could have done a whole lot more. But this is one of his very beginnings, and even though I like the remake a little bit more, I still appreciate this for what it was. And during these times, it was very. Uh, it was hard to do horror movies like this during these certain years. There's always controversies surrounding certain horror movies, and this was one of them. But it's an excellent horror movie. I really enjoyed it, but I do enjoy the remake just a little bit more. Coming to number 9 is The Hills Have Eyes. And again, the remake in 2006, I think it's just as good as the original. But I love the original. I'm always about the original movies, especially when it comes to horror. And The Hills Have Eyes is no exception. But I do like the remake as well. The second movie, the remake, was kind of a throwaway. Shouldn't have been made. But yeah, The Hills Have Eyes, number 9, classic. Coming number 8, Dawn of the Dead. This is another one where some people like the remake from 2004 more than George A. Romero's. Well, for me, I would tend to agree. I really enjoyed the remake. The 2004, it was really something special. And to not even mess around and just jump right in and just get to it. And I love the characters that are held up in the mall. They're all fantastic and what they do to try and survive. And then I love the ending. The ending in this movie is fantastic. But I do love the original. The 1970s is fantastic. There's nothing really else to say. They're both great, and I do enjoy watching both. But I like the remake just a little bit better than the original, and that's not the case often when it comes to horror movies, especially in my opinion. Coming number 7 is A Clockwork Orange. Malcolm McDowell's performance in this movie is fantastic. One of the best performances in a horror movie, in my opinion. Definitely top 10. And I highly recommend that you check out this movie. It is fantastic. Some of the scenes, especially the phone was going off there. Especially the rape scene is so it's tough to watch, but at the same time, it's one of the iconic scenes. And there's another one in this movie where Malcolm McDowell is forced to watch a movie. I won't say anything else about it, but man, it is messed up. But definitely check out A Clockwork Orange. I love this movie. And like I said, Malcolm McDowell is freaking fantastic in this movie. Coming number 6 is a classic. On someone's list for the 1970s top 10 would probably be number 1, maybe. But number 6 is Jaws. Jaws is a classic horror movie. And if you've never seen Jaws, then what are you doing with your life? Jaws, even with all the problems they had, especially with the shark, it's still a flawless movie. With one little nitpick for me, I think the third act drags on a little too long for my taste. Because I believe they're out there for at least 30 to 40 minutes. And to me, that's just it's a little too long for my taste. But other than that, this is a great movie. It's so suspenseful because you don't see what's going on. You don't see the predator. But when you finally do, it's just a great shot. And Richard Dreyfuss, I love him in this movie. I think he steals the movie. All the other actors are good in this movie as well, but Richard Dreyfuss is my favorite in the movie, hands down. But Jaws, it's a classic. Definitely worth being in the top 10. Just couldn't crack the top 5. Coming number 5 is one of Stephen King's best books and adaptations, and that is Carrie. Carrie, Sissy Spacek, just phenomenal. You got PJ Souls, you got John Travolta. You have a great horror movie. If you've never seen Carrie, it's been remade several times, whether it be TV, two theatrical releases, which the one that came out in 2013 with Julianne Moore, I love that movie. The 2002, I really didn't care for that. But the sequel to the first movie, Carrie to the Rage, I actually did enjoy that movie. I mean, it's not as great as the first, obviously, but it is a popcorn movie for me, if that makes any sense. I like some of the characters and actors in the movie, of course. But yeah, Carrie, Stephen King's classic book and this movie is phenomenal. And Sissy Spacek, in my opinion, she should have got some Oscar buzz, in my opinion, um, for her performance. And the lady who played her mom is just phenomenal. And like I said, John Travolta, he's cool, and I love PJ Souls. Man, uh, I could just eat her up. She's so gorgeous. But yeah, Carrie number 5. It's a great movie. Coming number 4 is a movie I just recently watched just over a year ago. And not only did it have sequels, but it had a remake and it had 2 sequels. And that is I Spit on Your Grave. Yeah, I Spit on Your Grave. The movie is about a young woman who decides to take a little vacation to a summer house so she can concentrate on some writing and just relaxing. And she runs into some hillbillies who, at first, start off friendly, but then it gets out of control. And this is a home invasion, rape, torture movie. And this lady, she, like I said, these hillbillies just torture her and just rape her repeatedly. But what happens to them in this movie is freaking awesome. I love it. It's one of those revenge type horror movies too. Because even though she got messed up in the first third of the movie, when she exacts her revenge, it is awesome. But I will tell you this: the 2010 remake is better in my opinion, and the remake, when she gets or gives her revenge to the guys, oh my god, you guys are gonna love what she does. But I love both these movies. I haven't seen the sequels to the original, but I've seen both sequels to the remakes, and I love them both. I love these movies, and yeah, I highly recommend you check these out. Definitely check out the original first, and then you should be able to find it on Xfinity on demand, or it used to be Comcast. Should be able to find it on Netflix or maybe even your local video store. But it is freaking awesome. Definitely check it out. I was blown away with that movie and its remake. Number 3, The Exorcist. I mean, need I say more? It's The Exorcist. Uh, it's just phenomenal. There's nothing else to say. If you haven't seen The Exorcist, then you, in my opinion, are not a true horror fan. You need to see The Exorcist. Check it out. Number 3 on my list. Number 2 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yes, I love Leatherface. Is one of the iconic characters. He is so brutal in this movie. And being that I am a paraplegic and I am in a wheelchair, there are horror movies that I grew up with that I didn't have as much sympathy at the time for the guys in the wheelchairs because I didn't really think about that. But now that I am in a wheelchair and I see these movies again, I can't help but feel a little bit more sorry for them because they are helpless. We are helpless a lot more than people who can actually run away, you know. But the kills in this movie are fantastic. Leatherface is phenomenal, and I love this original movie. Not because just it's original, it is a creepy ass movie. And the family is really messed up, and I love it. I love everything about this movie, and the ending to this movie is fantastic, freaking fantastic. And don't get me wrong, I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. I believe it was 2003 and 2006. I love both of those movies. This original one and those two are the ones they're my go-tos in the franchise. I did not like part 2. I thought that was it's one of the worst sequels in my opinion. Just like Freddy's Revenge and the Nightmare franchise. But yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, freaking phenomenal. You got to check it out. And of course, my number 1 horror movie of the 1970s. If you don't know what it is, then you just don't know freaking horror movies. Because that is John Carpenter's 1978 classic, Halloween. I've talked to death about Halloween. I freaking love this movie. It is flawless, in my opinion, even though there are movie mistakes, and I get that. But for a gentleman who was working on a small budget and doing the score and the directing and everything, I think it's a great movie. I think it's flawless. It's perfect. And even though, like I said, with some of the movie mistakes, I don't care. I just really don't. I love this movie. I love Michael Myers. And yeah, he's freaking awesome. So that is my top 10 horror movies of the 1970s. So did you agree with my list? Did you not agree with it? Give me your top 10 horror movies of the 1970s. Would love to hear it from you guys. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and let's talk about freaking horror movies in general. I do top 10s rankings. I will be talking about my favorite TV shows for the upcoming 2018-2019 seasons for television. And yeah, I'm also on Facebook. I do movie reviews on there. Mainly, I do the new releases on Facebook. Sometimes I do old ones as well. I kind of go back and forth between YouTube and Facebook. And yeah, definitely give me your top 10. I would love to hear some feedback. Other than that, I thank you guys for watching this top 10, and I'll see you guys next time in the next video. Check you later.